Well, good morning, everybody. Game time, Brian, otherwise known as the mailman on a Sunday. No mail delivery today, but I hope to deliver a little bit of news here. Not necessarily breaking news, just going over what we could expect in the next week or so and recapping a couple items from last week. On a Sunday morning, dreary, damp, rainy day in South Jersey. Let's get into it. We got some news. Obviously, starting with the Cowboys. Rookie minicamp starts tomorrow, Monday. These guys, it's big. It's a big time for the Cowboys. As you saw, if you haven't saw, I can let you know the offensive line guru Duke Manyweather has been working. Well, he works with a lot of offensive linemen. He worked with a lot of them. They pay him. He's an offensive line guru. They pay him. He runs camps. He worked at the combine with his certain players who paid him. I know I had a lot of questions because Zach Martin works with Duke Manyweather. Why not hire Duke Manyweather as the offensive line coach or as an assistant or whatever? Because Duke makes way more money doing what he's doing on his own. So shout out to him. But newly acquired the 29th overall pick in the first round, Tyler Guyton, all 6'7" 340 pounds of muscle from University of Oklahoma. Tyler Guyton is working with him. Tyler Guyton his footwork is very, very good. And I've done a video on him, so I'm not going to take too long on him, but he's been working with Duke Manyweather for his hands, his hand movements and that initial punch that you need. It's weird enough. Normally it's the opposite, but he's better at pass blocking, coming out of college than he might be in run blocking. So, but we'll get to see Duke Manyweather. You're going to see highlights of him working with Tyler Guyton throughout the whole off season, and he's doing the right thing. Tyler. You're going to see Cooper Beebe this week. The juggernaut is going to be his presence is going to be felt because he's a man amongst boys out there. He's going to be on the field. Marshawn Nealon, our second round pick. Some people were surprised. I wasn't. I was saying it while he was on the board, or when we were on the board, that he was a possible pick just based on value. Marist Leafau, he seems to be the one guy people are confused about. Listen, Mike Zimmer loves the man, and we'll get into him a little later. My guy, Kalen Carson out of Wake Forest, he could be the steal of the draft. A lot of people were wondering why he was still on the board in the fifth round. He's going to be at the rookie minicamp. Obviously, they're all going to be there. Very, very, looking forward to seeing everybody, and hopefully they get some good work in this week. And we are less than 3 months. We're 85 days, 86 days away from training camp, which is hard to believe. Time is flying. Before you know it, it'll be training camp. Don't know if I'm going yet. Still waiting to see the dates and if I could possibly swing it. I don't know. I know a lot of viewers are asking. So we'll see. We shall see on that. But the breaking news. Well, you know what? We're going to hold off on that. We'll hold off on Michael Irvin until the end of the video. How's that? Let's go with the linebackers. The linebacker room, I would say this. Cowboys' investment in linebackers will pay off for years to come. And everybody was a little upset that we didn't take a running back and we took Maris Leafau. You just got to remember, we got Van Der Esch retires, all right? What happened then after Van Der Esch got hurt, Damone Clark went in the tank. Van Der Esch was the guy who kind of steered a Damone, and he did all the calls and, Damone seemed lost without Leighton after Leighton got hurt. So enter Eric Kendricks, right? Eric Kendricks now comes in and he comes in and he knows Mike Zimmer's system. He's going to be the guy that the players, especially the young players, and let me rattle them off. We got Maris Leofau. We have Damone Clark, who's still a young player, people. He did play really good when Van Der Esch was there. Not so much. He did too much thinking when Van Der Esch was not there. DeMarvion Overshown, we've heard that he's gained the 20 pounds of muscle and looking good, ready to roll. I'm excited to see Overshown this year. Obviously, we got veteran Damian Wilson, Micah, but he's more of an edge rusher, Buddy Johnson. But there's going to be even more. But I think the investment in the young guys, Overshown, Leofau, Damone Clark, now you have Eric Kendricks. Let's just listen to Eric Kendricks a bit just to see what he's all about and how these young players are going to be able, to deal with Mike Zimmer and what Zim's all about.
Wise, but he always used to say, "You take care of me, I take care of you," and things like that. So, I have talked to the guys about Zim. It is a big difference, but at the same time, like, ball is ball. And
ball is
we gotta
ball.
be disciplined on our cues.
Obviously, you were entertaining at least the talks with the 49ers before you pivoted, coming with Zimmer and the Cowboys.
Definitely.
What is it about the Cowboys defense as a whole that kind of lights a fire in you to say, hey, we can get this done?
I think it's just the talent at all levels. We played against them last year, and they showed a lot of explosiveness that I saw from the other side, and I just felt like it was a good fit, especially coming back with Zim, and with the locker room we have here. Brandon Cooks is my guy, so I had to make that happen.
Knowing the system's going to be different, but having a chance to be around some of the guys here and their skill sets, how do you see that meshing and how excited are you about that?
Yeah, I see it meshing. Obviously there's some guys that just do things well, and we got to emphasize that. But more importantly, I'm excited to have the scheme emphasize what guys, may not know they do well yet, or, as a collective, the things we can do as a collective from the scheme standpoint of things. So I'm excited about that, and, I'm just blessed to be here.
Thanks, Eric. Thank you.
He's blessed to be there. And here, let me switch the camera. Here we go. Here we go. Give you a little look at the mystic. He's blessed to be there. Let me see something here. There we go. That was the smartest move Eric Kendricks made. He's literally going to be the quarterback. It might extend his career. They brought him in on a one-year deal, but if he does well, they will bring him back. But that's getting ahead of ourselves. To bring him in with Mike Zimmer, you have rookies. You got Overshown, who's basically a rookie. You got Maris, who is a rookie. Damone, young, learning a new system. It's the best thing. For Micah and the Cowboys, or Michael and the Cowboys, that Kendricks is here because he's going to be able to. A lot of times rookies don't want to go, "Hey, coach, what? What did you say? What do you mean?" They don't want to come off like they don't understand or they can't pick up anything or they're stupid. That's just human nature. But to have a guy who's like a coach, knows exactly when Mike Zimmer gets in your ass, because he's going to. Mike Zimmer is not I'm going to put my arm around you and go, "That's all right, Damone, keep your chin up." He's going to tear into you outwardly. A famous story, because you remember Mike Zimmer was brought in under Bill Parcells, and Bill Parcells was one to chew your ass out in front of everybody. But Bill also knew there were certain players you needed to handle different, just like Zimmer, just like Jimmy Johnson. Remember when Jimmy used to yell at Charles Haley, and Haley came into the office and said, "Hey, coach, I don't care what you say to me, but just please don't do it in front of my teammates." So Jimmy had to adapt and deal with Charles in a different way. See, Michael Kendricks already knows all the quirks of Mike Zimmer, and he could say, "Listen, calm down, Damone or Marist or DeMarvin, just you calm down. This is what coach means. He's getting into you because he wants to see you get better. So, hell of a pickup for us. He had 117 tackles last year with the Chargers. You know, how could you not be? I mean, I know, like, I was getting mocked a little bit, from certain organizations saying, "Oh, you're bragging about Michael Kendricks or Eric Kendricks." Sorry, I keep saying Michael. Eric Kendricks. My bad. Eric Kendricks. Eric. But Eric Kendricks. Michael Kendricks was as the ex-Eagle. There you go. So, and I would say, well, listen, he had 117 tackles. He would have been the best linebacker on our team last year. What are you talking about? That was an Eagle fan. It was funny because coming from a team who had no linebackers last year, I think you would have loved to have Eric Kendricks, but be that as it may. But big news of the week, ESPN. ESPN is, hold up here. Hold up. ESPN is buying NFL Network. We don't know the details or when exactly it's going to take effect, but the NFL Network is laying off people left and right. Michael Irvin has now been caught up in it, so it's going to be interesting to see where Michael lands. I think he'll land in studio, maybe on Fox, if I had to guess. Because ESPN with the whole lawsuit, they were wrapped up and they're the ones that got rid of him. I wouldn't expect him back with ESPN. ESPN has their own set of issues, not named Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee is the best thing ESPN has going for him. They laid off left and right themselves. And I like Pat McAfee. I really do. And it seems like they're putting all their eggs in his basket. And then hiring a bunch of cheaper talent around him, to do some knockoff shows. But the NFL Network is laying off left and right. They are going to be absorbed basically by ESPN. It'll be interesting to see. NFL Total Access, after 20 years of being on the air, is now gone, or it's going to be gone as of August. It really is sad, but it's this new media. I can only speak about me and a few people that I know that don't really watch. I watch the highlights on YouTube, obviously, but I'm not into watching. Sorry, Stephen A. It's not entertaining anymore to hear you yell and scream and talk shit. I just want to hear about my team, or I'll hear about NFL news in a non-biased nature. That's just me. I want to hear the news of the day. It's like, I don't want any bias. I don't need there to be a script, right? I don't need there to be a script and say, okay, you're going to shit on Dak Prescott. You're going to be the one guy in studio who's going to have Dak Prescott's back. We need the ratings. Let's go. Okay. That's not really doing homework or nothing, right? The homework is Dak's got a 73 and or 71 and 43 record in the NFL. You don't hear that a lot. He does have 2 playoff wins. He does have 5 playoff losses. So, they're really standing out. He's getting a playoff choker vibe. That's what everybody wants to say. But he's 73 and 41 lifetime. That's a pretty damn good record. As far as win as a quarterback in the NFL, especially a lot better record. Here, let me look. What's Dan Orlovsky's? Dan Orlovsky NFL record. Let's see what this. Dan Orlovsky, okay? Dan Orlovsky. I'm only picking Dan because he's so negative on Dallas. He's gotten a little better, and I actually think he's a smart guy. we went to the NFL draft. We saw him up there. I do think he's a smart guy. I think he gets caught up in it. They need their ratings, so they need a guy in the studio. They don't want to say, oh, well, Dak, he's got a 73-41 record in the NFL total. I mean, that's pretty darn good. I don't know. That's not. And he does have a couple playoff wins, the same amount of playoff wins as Lamar Jackson. But, again, it's all about the negative, right? Dan Orlovsky, 3-23. 3-23. Now, listen, I would love to be Dan Orlovsky, right? He made it to the NFL. So I'm not sitting here really like crapping on Dan Orlovsky, and I'll get to that, no pun intended. But 3-23, I just say, listen, man, if you people who live in glass houses should not throw stones. But it's for ratings. I just don't watch that anymore. But again, this is why I don't watch guys like Dan Orlovsky or take him serious. How's that? I'll watch him because I love my NFL, but to take him serious, I don't know.
Both of those, essentially. Like, it's
Dan.
He has a problem with farting.
Dan Orlovsky situation.
What do you mean?
Just fart.
I did not fart. You guys be serious right now, or are you messing with me?
He can't even own up to the fart. Here, wait, hold up.
You guys, 1,000%.
I can't rewind it.
No, we swear.
Look at him.
No one did that. That was out of a movie, Dan.
I'm so freaking angry right now.
You're angry.
Yeah, it's got leather seats.
No, I have. See?
Dude.
Did you just hear it? My wife texted me. She said, "Oh my gosh,
Dude, that's all he does
I'm
is
dead."
fart.
I go, "Babe, I promise you on everything."
He's probably
I did
on
not
something
fart.
to make him all,
20 minutes after being on your show, and now AJ's talking about it. If I farted, why wouldn't I say I farted?
Because why would you run out the back of the end zone when you're rolling out to throw a pass?
It's impossible to be at the top at both of those, essentially. Like, it's
All right. So this is what you get, people. This is what you get. You get hot air. Basically, that's what you get. You get hot air from a lot of these analysts. One being Pat McAfee, literally calling out Dan Orlovsky about farting multiple times. Yet it's them. What, do they have a guy in the back hitting a fart machine? Come on, man. But anyway, so it'll be interesting to see where Michael Irvin lands. He's going to land somewhere. I actually don't really care for him on this Fox show. Don't. Not a big, I like him better in studio in pregame. That's where I want to see Michael Irvin. In pregame, in the studio. That's where he belongs. Like what he did with the NFL Network. So we shall see, but it's a very busy week. I'm planning on doing my Wednesday live on Thursday because I expect the NFL schedule release. But we got a couple days before that if they come out and say something. But I expect it Thursday night, probably 7 o'clock on NFL Network or wherever. Usually that's where it's at. So we shall see about that. I will be having my 4 p.m. Eastern Zoom call for the for all channel members. I'll leave it open to everybody right now, until I build up the channel members. But yeah, 4 o'clock. You will see. You guys can log on. I will restart my internet, I promise. But that's all I got. Kind of the quiet before the storm, the OTAs, the rookie mini camp starting tomorrow, followed by the schedule release. Looking forward to it. It'll be here before we know it, everybody. But that's it for me. I'll talk to everybody later. Game Time Brian is out.